Good afternoon. I'm KHOL Meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and we are tracking Bertha and the impacts to southeast Texas. And even though the storm is going to be a very weak tropical storm with all the rain and storms well to the south of us, we very well could see increasing surf and seas across the Galveston area as we head into the next several hours. The current time is 1 p.m. and we are expecting more of these showers and storms to move through between the hours of 2 and 5 p.m. And also we could see some gusts up to 40 to 50 miles an hour in some locations. And so areas inland might still see 20 to 30 mile an hour per hour winds and a few downpours, but of course, here's a look at Galveston as of now. Skies are looking very ominous out there, especially as the center of Bertha moves closer towards southeast Texas. And so 83 degrees, north winds at 10 miles an hour. We are expecting those wind speeds to just really not be all that significant. But of course, as we take a look at the current observations of Bertha, it's still a tropical storm. We have 45 mile an hour winds. Gusts are at 60 miles an hour. It is moving west at 10 miles an hour. It is a severely tilted storm, which basically means that all the rain and convection in the storms are very well away from the center of the storms. As you see, the center of the storm is actually right around the Texas-Louisiana state line. I think the center of the storm is officially making its way into the state of Texas near the Beaumont area. And so we are expecting another official landfall, especially from the National Hurricane Center, with Bertha making its way across the coastal areas, moving west at 10 miles an hour. And of course, you see more of the heavy rain and storms to the south of there, especially across Corpus Christi. And we are also expecting that wind shear to play a factor on how well unorganized this system is. And so as I back up this graphic just one more time, we have a lot of wind shear. And like I said, it's upper level winds. These are wind speeds in the upper levels of the atmosphere. They usually are stronger than the wind speeds in the surface levels of the atmosphere. So you see how those wind speeds are moving well to the south and towards the west. That's what's really blowing all of those storms and all those showers well to the south of that system, especially out towards Port Lavaca in the Corpus Christi area. So it's those upper level winds that are doing a great job at tearing this system apart, especially as we head into the next 12 to 24 hours. And eventually, once it makes contact with land, it will weaken significantly and remain disorganized, especially as we head into the afternoon hours. However, the latest forecast track looks a bit scary. I know you see an icon of a tropical storm heading directly towards Houston, and it's important to know that more of the impacts are going to be felt along the coastal areas. And this is a pretty odd storm that we're looking at when it comes to what we've seen in years past. So something to not really take lightly, but just the fact that it's severely tilted and more of the rain and storms are well to the south of there, that really does not take away from the fact that the center of circulation might move in around the Houston area, and that could increase wind speeds and bring a few showers and storms as we head into the afternoon hours. But once we get closer towards 7 p.m. or actually towards Friday morning, that system's going to be well off towards central Texas. But the National Weather Service still continuing to issue tropical storm warnings for our coastal areas. That does include Galveston and Trinity Bays, as well as our area beaches across Galveston Island. And so if you are along the coast, just be extra cautious at staying away from the water, because as those winds start picking up as the center of that storm moves closer towards Galveston, we are going to start seeing those winds start churning up the seas and make them a little bit more rough, especially as we get closer towards this evening. So wind speeds likely to be up to 25, 30 miles an hour, but we can't rule out some 40 mile an hour wind gusts out of this as this weak system moves into southeast Texas. So minimal impacts, but still some storms possible. As we take a look at this weather parameter here, this is the likelihood that the area receives winds at exceeding 39 miles per hour. And this, where you see the purple colors, that's the areas that are more likely to see tropical storm force winds. And our areas that you see in red, which is Galveston's right around there, it's an 80 to 90% chance, it's a pretty high chance that we're going to start seeing those winds exceed 39 miles an hour as we head into this afternoon. So wind speeds are going to be the main factor here when it comes to this storm as it approaches southeast Texas. And of course, that's enough to cause rough seas, cause coastal erosion. It might blow around some loose objects, especially along the coast. So be very careful if you are in the Galveston area. I know folks like to go down there, probably watch the water or be on the water if you're out fishing, but we're going to start seeing those waves. I assume that we're going to start seeing those seas becoming just a bit rough as the center of that storm moves closer towards southeast Texas. So future track. we very well also could see a few of these isolated storms. The closer that you are to the coast is the higher chance that you're going to see more of those rain chances, especially storm chances. So areas south and east of Houston, Galveston, Trinity, Galveston Bays, we're going to start seeing more of a chance for a storm or two. If you're in the Sugar Land area, you might see more of that heavier rain. But again, these storms are not going to be long lasting. It's going to be very short-lived storms, especially as we get closer towards 7 to 8 o'clock. And then by later on tonight, that system's going to start racing inland, more of the heavy rain well away from Houston. And so this is a really good situation for the Houston area, as our experience with tropical systems have not really been good. We've had Tropical Storm Allison, we had Hurricane Beryl, Hurricane Ike, and so it's something to really not take lightly when it comes to this particular situation. But it's also an important reminder that it doesn't take much to cause, if we didn't have that wind shear, if we didn't have those wind speeds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we could be looking at an entirely different situation with this storm, especially as it makes its way in closer towards southeast Texas. So skies are looking pretty gray and gloomy here across Houston. 89 degrees, Sugar Land at 88. Tropical moisture is in full force. That's still causing those feels like temp to be at 100 degrees, especially across the area. So be extra cautious when it comes to the heat and the humidity later on today. Even though it's cloudy, the sun's not really out, we're going to have a very humid day later on this afternoon. But we also have that rain chance that's going to start creeping in later on today as well, between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. It's the reason why we've issued that weather impact alert for today, because we are expecting those indirect impacts from Bertha as it nears the southeast Texas coast, especially this afternoon. So overnight temps dropping into the 70s. We're going to have mostly clear and muggy conditions, and that's going to be the case for tomorrow. I think today is going to be the day that we are going to really get a break from this heat that we're expecting to get for the next 7 days, because we're going to see temperatures a lot cooler than what we saw yesterday. And then tomorrow we're going to be back into the upper 90s across the area for the afternoon hours. So we're taking a look right now at our partners at Saltwater Recon. They have a very vast network of camera systems that are in place across the area. Of course, it usually takes a while for these cameras to pop up on our systems, but as we take a look at the system, the cameras around the area, we very well could see some of these. There we go. We have those cameras moving on in. We have still folks enjoying the water, enjoying the beach. The seas are just well offshore. We're not looking at any coastal flooding right now, but we have some very calm conditions, especially along our coastal areas, as we take a look at that camera from Saltwater Recon, especially off the coast. So of course they are moving this camera around, they're panning it around the area. This is at the 28th Street and Seawall, and so as we take a look at those conditions, things are just looking very calm, but those skies are looking pretty gloomy out there. We still have some folks that are enjoying the beach and some folks that are enjoying their time along the seawall, but we're going to start seeing those waves here pick up pretty shortly, especially as we head into the next several hours. Look at those skies, look at those clouds, looking very ominous as you're seeing some higher waves, especially out near Pleasure Pier. But we are expecting the impacts from this system to be mainly felt along the coastal areas as we head into the next several hours. 83 degrees with north winds at 10 miles an hour. And so I've been talking about wind shear, and we've shown you this graphic for the past couple of days. But we are, when it comes to those winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is what we're looking at. This is our situation that we're looking at with Bertha. We have those upper level wind speeds that are severely tilting the storm, and so you usually get more of the rain and storms away from the center of storms, while one side of the storm actually could be sunny and clear. But this is what we're looking at as of now with this system, with those upper level winds that are tilting this system and just really causing all of those storms to be south of the center, which is now crossing the Texas-Louisiana state line. So lots of heavy rain moving in the Corpus Christi. We're going to be spared from the heavy rain with this system, but we very well could see those gusty winds start picking up here pretty closely as the center of the storm makes its way closer towards Houston. So you just secure your objects around your yard. If you do have those loose objects around, you don't want them blowing down the street, especially when it comes to those trash cans. But if you are along the coast, we might see this cause some rough seas out there, as you're able to see the center of that circulation now moving in close closer towards the Beaumont area, especially as we head into the next several hours. And of course, that's all I have for you when it comes to our latest update here on tracking Tropical Storm Bertha. We will be providing you hourly updates throughout the day, and we are tracking those conditions across Galveston and across the Houston area. So make sure to have those app notifications on from KHOU 11. We have our KHOU 11 app where we always give you those updated weather conditions here across town. And stay safe out there if you are along the coast, and just secure those loose objects if you do have them about your yard or home. Have a good, safe and rest of your day. I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your latest update.